Here we go.
Yes, sir. The boys are back in town.
Rap Sports News, RSM
RSM
Podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a special guest in the room with us today, Red from Chowtown Podcast.
Hey, what's up,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah,
Appreciate
appreciate
the
you.
invite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, man. This is special. This is a special occasion, man.
Yeah, you're our second guest to be on.
Oh,
Absolutely.
nice. Appreciate that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I've checked out a lot of your podcasts and you have some topics that I think is pretty interesting. You talk a lot about passport bros here and
Yeah,
there. You talk about a lot of American dating, right?
that I do.
So what's some of the things that got you into podcasting to want to talk about that?
To tell the truth, I was watching a lot of content after my divorce. Was married for 12 years. Ex-wife felt that she needed to see other people and wanted to explore more, and she didn't have her own personality because she was with me for such a long time, and she was with me pretty young. So it kind of just like threw me in a tailspin a little bit. Just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, is something wrong with me? Felt like a bit of a failure, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
because I think most men feel this when they get divorced in some way. You know what I mean? And I was just watching a lot of content. I was watching a lot of Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, Godfather.
RP
And
Kevin
just
Samuels.
yeah, and I was just watching everything, and I was just getting myself red pilled. And I was like, you know what? I can probably do this. I've experienced these things. Maybe I can share to where I can help other men out the way these videos and Kevin Samuels helped me out. So that was how I kind of got into it. I didn't really think it was going to be anything major. I just wanted to, like spread out some word.
That's awesome, man. I can definitely relate to you. I've been married 12 years. This shit
Oh
is fucked
shit.
up. So got married young as well. So I could definitely relate to you on that. After experiencing what you have with divorce and now with this new life of podcasting and content creating and things like that. Um, how do you feel like it has helped you? I don't want to say overcome that, but just move forward with life, or has it in any way? Has it made things easier by having a new outlet?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it was a bit of depression after the initial divorce, just because again, felt like a failure. I was just like, damn, I couldn't keep my family together. Like, what did I do wrong? And as I was watching content and as I was doing content, I was just like, like, did I do everything correctly? Did I do my best? I was just going through all the motions about it. And then as I was seeing how woman nature was, I was kind of understanding a little bit more just how the dynamic of my relationship was. I was pretty blue pilled. Like, I was the happy
We
wife,
all were,
happy
man.
life. Yeah, dude. I like everything she wanted, I did. If she wanted to go out, we went out. Well, I wasn't so much like that in the beginning. And then I got into a big accident that kind of like changed my perspective. I was like, oh, I want more happiness. I want to spend more time with my loved ones. So after that was when I was just like, you know what, whatever she wants, let's just do it. When she wanted to go on vacation, I'd send her out on vacation, but I never went because money, like the idea of not working and spending money for a month and no money coming in just bugged the shit out of me. I just couldn't handle it. So I always sent her out and I just kept working. But as I saw everything, I was just, you know what? I think I did a lot of things wrong and a lot of things right too. Like, I did what most women tell us they want, right? The supportive, the sensitive, the, always doing the things that they want type. But also, that wasn't what, in retrospect, like, that wasn't what got her to be with me in the first place, right? So I think it's because I changed a little bit and became a little bit more blue pilled and just kind of like not as assertive as I used to be. And then she was just probably feeling that I probably that I was like, a simp a little bit, I guess. And, women, they want simps, but when they actually have the simps, they realize that's not what they want.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so I think in the West, it's easy for women to get divorced and to even kind of look to want to be divorced.
yeah.
How long do you think it will take for politicians to revise the family court laws, or do you think they ever will?
Dude, so I think things are changing now. It's a hard question to kind of answer because, we hear in Florida changing their laws about, permanent alimony.
Alimony, right?
Yeah, that's a big win for men. And that's
Even
kind
women
of,
said that they about to leave Florida. They don't want to be there no more.
I mean, can do whatever they want, but once a certain state kind of like spearheads something, other states kind of see what's going on. It takes a couple years, just kind of like cannabis with Colorado. Once Colorado kind of made money and they're just like giving money back to the states, and they're just like,
Maybe we should all do that.
man, maybe we should all get some of this tax money too, right? And then I think this is very similar.
Still
But
here in Atlanta, they're still kind of harsh on marijuana laws.
is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you
But
know
they're
what?
more
Yes.
relaxed.
Because I have a friend that his parents live there, and it's hard for them to get a hold of legal weed over there. So
Right. We have
yeah.
what's it called? Delta 8. So like now they'll give you fines and stuff, but you don't go to jail for anything like less than a pound no more.
Oh, okay. What's the fine?
Maybe like anywhere from $50 to $150.
Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too
Yeah.
bad. It's better than going to jail. There's still there's still men in jail for what 20, 30 years for
Yeah,
what
all
like a
over.
eighth sack. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
At least the fine is a little bit manageable. But I think even the US now is starting to look into no fault divorces. We've had it for what 53 years now, and it hasn't really done society much better. I think the government is really looking into retrospect of like what's going on with this. So I think it's changing already, but government, when do they ever do anything in a quick pace, right? It's going to take them probably another 5 years to fully do the research, and then another 5 years to start implementing stuff. And that's if women don't fight back, and we all know women are going to fight back because they want the no fault divorce. They
Right.
benefit so much from it.
For now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they feel they benefit from it, but when we look at a lot of people that divorce, it's the men that usually, all right, it's 50-50 where men do take care of themselves some when they just can't handle losing everything. But in the long run, when men always end up on top. And women, they seem to get the big blunt of like the good stuff in the beginning, but when the money runs out, there's no prospects of a relationship later in life, and they have kids or whatever, they decline in, I guess, overall happiness. So it's hard to say because women are they only see what's in front of them. They only see the benefits right away. So it might take a little bit longer for but women almost lie to each other too. There's plenty of women that divorced are unhappy and they can't find a man, but they still tell the younger generation, this is the best option or the best choice that I ever made in my life. But is it really,
Right.
And it makes me think about one of our topics later. Yeah, Khalifa.
We'll get to it. All right, so I want to talk about passport bros. You're a big advocate for the passport bros.
Yeah.
Where's somewhere that you travel out of town that you really, out of the country that you love?
My country, Cambodia, when I traveled there, because I was born there and I didn't visit until much later in life, just because family didn't have that kind of money and things like that. And I saw the big difference in culture. Everyone is so respectful. When you go to a small vendor or anything, I didn't really haggle much, but everybody haggles, but in a very nice way. I want to say food was so abundant. It was so cheap. Like one of my favorite dishes, they made the noodles fresh in the morning. Everything was made fresh that night. The vegetables were good. It was $1.25. I had to eat two dishes because I'm a fat American, so it was like 250 for dinner. And
That's
it was
amazing.
delicious. It was better than any of because I like that dish here, but it's not as good as over there, you
Right.
know. And then the women are just so much more feminine. Like all my aunts that live there, because I have a lot of family that lives there still. So I stay with a lot of family. I traveled through, like the seven wonders of the world. That's one of the awesome things that we do have. Seven wonders of the ancient world, I guess is what they want to say it. And just seeing my culture, just seeing the devastation of war that happened on, because there's still landmines. We see the mortar shells that are like ingrained into the temples and stuff like that. It really took me back to like, damn, my father and my mother were in this. Is this why they never really speak about it? I never really asked them. How I know so much about the history was actually I had a history teacher teach me all these things because he was, oh, you're Cambodian. Did you know about this? And I was just like, no, my parents never talked about it. And he was just like, this is probably why. And he ingrained me into my own culture. White, history teacher, one of my favorite teachers.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah, that's dope.
that's awesome. And that just the way you explained that, and you went through going back to your country and experience things like that. Just that alone makes me want to go somewhere.
Real,
Just
for
that
real.
alone
Right?
makes me
No,
want
I
to go.
think people, if they come from their history, if their heritage comes from another country, and if they've never visited, they don't truly know. They don't truly see what's out there and what's happening. And when you actually put, foot on the ground, it's different. Especially because most people don't leave the US. A lot of people don't travel out of the US. And you'll see the difference in just culture, how people treat each other, how people don't even know half the things here that people seem to want to force on other people. They don't know half this. Like if you ask them about gender and things like that, they're like, why would you ask me about this? It doesn't even make sense why you would ask me something about this. Here, it's a whole topic, right?
Yeah, people are making millions of dollars off these topics here.
Right? Yeah.
That seems like the motivation, right?
Exactly. Well, I got another question with that. So this whole passport bro movement, it kind of like kicked off very hard this year.
Yeah, it
So how do
did.
you think in like the next 10 years is going to change American dating?
Dude, I mean, when J. Cole made the song
Passport
with
bros.
Bass, that is a big turning point, in my opinion, right? Because it was somewhat under the radar. Women made videos always, dissing Passport Bros constantly, but it wasn't in the mainstream. Now, Daily Wire knows about it, just mainstream culture knows about it. Men are leaving. Men are very risk adverse, right? We try to do our best to not fail. And we fail a lot when it comes to modern dating culture in the US. Why? Just because how it's navigating doesn't work how it was before. Like one of the biggest things that the Whatever podcast always says is we work 10 times harder now to get 10 times worse women than before. Our forefathers were
Grandparents.
average men that did normal things that we do now, and they were able to marry normal women. Now we have to be 100 grand earners. You have to be 6 foot, the 3 6s just to even get a chance in the dating market nowadays. And these women are nowhere close to what our grandmothers were, right? And going to, because again, a lot of men have never traveled. So when I see videos of men traveling for the first time, and it really opens their eyes. This is why I tell men just travel first. Go to these countries, visit, see some like the Dominican Republic, the Asian countries, even African countries. See the difference in culture and just how they are immersed in other things. They don't care about the things we care about here. Like the materialisticness is somewhat there. I'm not saying it isn't, but they don't think that you need 100 grand to live. Where women here, they literally think that's the bare minimum to be able to live in the US, to, or at least a man to make for them. Right. So I think in the future, in the next 10 years, more mainstream, more songs I think are going to be out, because that song was a pretty fire song. I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
You know, yeah. And if and celebrities have been kind of doing this for a long time. You see a lot of, like, even what Dave Chappelle, he married an Asian woman. There's many, but everybody seems to think, oh, because they're rich. No, now it's starting to push out there that you don't have to be that well off. As long as you can immerse yourself into the culture. Like, always want to learn the language, because you don't want to get taken for a ride. If you don't know the languages, it's a little harder. But there's countries that all speak quite a bit of English, like the Philippines. That is their second language that they learn. Even in Cambodia, a lot of Cambodians learn English. A lot of my cousins learned English. They might not be able to communicate as well as we do, but they know English well enough, you know? So it's a good thing. Men are just having more options. You know, trade, everything has been globalized. And why not trade? Why not dating? Globalization of dating makes sense because everything else is globalized. So,
yes, sir. All right, so you got some?
Oh, go ahead.
So I wanted to know, who was your favorite music artist?
I thought about this question. It was a tough question for me. I read the Red Hot Chili Peppers. As I was growing up in high school, rock was a thing, grunge was a thing, and I really enjoyed the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I still enjoy them now. They were one of my first live concerts that I went to. I've only been to like 3 myself. But as I got older, work, supporting a family and things like that, just music didn't really come into play as much. So I just kind of grew out of it, but I've still always enjoyed the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's funny that, like, I always think it's funny that the drummer looks just like Will Ferrell, and they even had a drum off with each other. It just made me remember all that. So
I don't know, Red. You seem like you could do some music, man. I don't know. I feel like I think you got some music in you, man.
I don't know, bro. I wouldn't say that. But I appreciate that. So I take that as a compliment.
Absolutely.
All right, you ready to get into some music topics with us?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, let's go. All right, so we had some new music drop this week. We had Ciara and Chris Brown drop "How We Roll." I like that song a lot. It was dope. We had Usher, Summer Walker with 21 Savage. They dropped "Good Good."
Okay.
Kelly Unchez, Mañaquita. That's how you say it. It means little doll in Spanish.
Okay.
We had Snow Allegra drop "Sweet Tea."
Is it any? And those are really. I like those songs that came out. But is there any new music that you're looking forward to? Or
no, I'm not in the music scene like at all. I'm so busy with like my other little businesses. I just got promoted to a GM for a cannabis company, and I do the YouTube. And just so busy that music is literally not a part of my life anymore. I'll listen to it. I listen to Spanish music. I listen to country music. I listen to like whatever's out there because I have Spotify, and I'll introduce me to some new music, but I don't really keep up with anything to where I can say I'm looking forward to anything.
Okay, that's okay. You're with music how I am with TV. I couldn't tell you about any new shows out right now.
See, I wouldn't be able to tell you that either. Yeah.
Everything I watch is like 10 years old. I think like the last thing I was watching was like Modern Family.
I didn't even watch that. The last thing you know what? I do watch a little bit of It Is Cake, or Is It Cake? It's like a show that they make cake look like real things.
Yeah.
It's a competition show. That's probably the lightest things I watch, but it's just because I like competition shows. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, we had some news with Cardi B. She was on stage. A fan threw some water on her, and she threw a mic back at her. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that, but I heard about like some Cardi B like bending over and then a tampon coming out. I heard something about that.
Yeah, so basically she was on stage twerking and someone got a upskirt of her and they saw it.
Oh, I see. I see. That's modern women, man. And they that's what they want to follow. It's kind of ridiculous.
Right. It's embarrassing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cardi B, she been outside this week. A lot of news on her.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Gotta do better, Cardi. All right, so I know you know about this one. Lizzo being accused of sexual harassment.
Yeah, I did a video on it with the Tip Network. It's when you get to me, it's once you get to a certain echelon of wealth and power and recognition, all these people do these things. I feel like there's very few people that are genuine overall, especially in media and things like that. The only few I can think of would be like maybe The Rock is a little bit more genuine than most, and like Tom Hanks. Because I've always liked Tom Hanks, yeah. But when you look at even Oprah, there's news about Oprah and the sounds of freedom and just things like that. And just I watched quite a few videos on the Oprah stuff, and it makes sense to me. For to you to be a billionaire in this industry, you've had to look away on quite a bit of things, and you've had to been a part of some of these horrible things. So Lizzo being the way she is, there's a reason why she hires bigger girls, right? Because if she didn't, they wouldn't be looking at her on stage. They'd be looking at these more feminine, smaller looking girls. But right. Because she hires these bigger girls, it's weird that she would body shame them though. That part confuses me.
The part that stuck out.
Yeah, to be body shamed because you hired these girls particularly because they're bigger girls. So to body shame them if they got a little bit bigger, it doesn't make sense. But it's kind of like the insecurity that people have, and I definitely feel that she's definitely insecure about her weight. She wants to boast about it and wear what she wants to wear, but she can't pull the men that she wants to pull. She liked Chris Evans. Do you think Chris Evans would ever be with someone like Lizzo? The motherfucker is fucking Captain America, right? Like,
no. It's crazy. It's crazy because I thought I don't follow Lizzo. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know a big part of when she came out, it was the big thing about embracing her size and all of this and that, right? So for her to go back and go against that and body shame her own people, it's kind of like, well, all the Lizzo fans should
body shame her. There's even times that Lizzo has cut her comments off so no one can say anything to her when she puts pictures up.
Dude, she has a whole show about look at the big girls or something like that, where she hires bigger dancers and they compete in a show so she can hire them. So she even her persona itself is anti body shaming, love your big size. So it's even more to go around and to shame someone else. But I don't think really anything's going to happen to her. There's people that have done way worse and still drop records, still are able to perform. And not to say, talk bad about Chris Brown, but what he went through was a pretty big ordeal, right? With Rihanna, but he's still performing, he's still doing his thing, and he's a man. So her being a woman, it's not really going to affect her, in my opinion, overall.
It did affect Chris Brown in some ways because
yeah, for sure, it affected him. Yeah.
Well, I don't think Lizzo's going to get banned from it.
Yeah, I don't think, again, because she's a woman, it just, these allegations work totally different when against male and females. If it was just an allegation versus, say, a male artist, he would have to cancel tours by now, immediately, just because of the allegations, right? But for her, half the people are like, nah, she didn't do it. No, it's fake, all these things, where if it was the other side, it wouldn't be like that.
No, that's facts. And it's really, you can go down a rabbit hole with that, because one thing that came to my mind, it's plenty of examples, but one of the things that came to my mind, remember, I think it was last year or the year before, with the Celtics coach in the affair.
Oh, yeah.
And he was out of there right away. and
immediately.
Yeah, and you never knew about the female involved. And
I mean, Michael Irving is one.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just an allegation. Like when you look at the tape and everything, nothing happened. But he's not announcing still. Like that is ridiculous, even though it comes out. So the allegation pretty much gets them fired immediately, or taken off the TV. And then when it comes to light that it was false allegations, they still don't get put back. Like I posted a thing about Johnny Depp. Like he's probably the only ones that is gonna make it back, but it's not that he's gonna make new movies. He's just gonna be still part of the franchise.
And they did throw, what's her name? Amber Heard.
Yeah, and she's still making Aquaman 2, and it's just what?
After all that.
Yeah. I mean, we all saw what she said in court and just how she acted and everything. I mean, the woman cut off the man's finger, but yet it's still able to make movies. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So another topic, we have a Soulja Boy. So he said that he's broke. He's being sued for $400,000 from his ex, and he's saying that he doesn't have the money; it's too high. But on the other hand, his tours are selling out right now.
That's a bad time for the tours.
Yeah, right.
He should have postponed that.
Right. Yeah. I think it's the ex-wife probably saw these sellout tours. That's why she and the lawyers came and was like, well, he's selling these out. He can probably afford this. Lawyers are very good at extracting money from people.
Oh yeah. Plus, I mean, he's well off. He got plenty of money. He know that, and she know that.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, that was just opportunity and at the right time.
Crazy. Yeah. So, is there anything going on in the news right now that stands out to you, Brett?
The Barbie movie, bro. I did not watch it myself, but now I kind of have to go watch it for research purposes. Women are breaking up with their boyfriends for not understanding the movie. Yeah. How ridiculous is that?
So this is what I heard from it. I guess it has like some Sanders type views in it, and women are pretty much, I guess, shit testing their boyfriends with it.
Yep.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, they're using it as a litmus test to say, do you agree with the movie? Do you agree that women are having it harder than men, and men are the ones that are still oppressing women? And most men watch the movie, and I haven't watched it myself, but from what I hear from the articles, like men are just like, what? Our lives are almost infinitely harder than you in so many ways. I'm not oppressing you in any way. And because men are kind of seeing the truth and telling the truth, women are taking it as, oh, you don't understand my struggles. So since you don't understand my struggles and the struggles of women, we shouldn't be together.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow.
I mean, to base your relationship off of a movie, and it's not just that, because someone doesn't understand a movie. Like I've taken women to dates, and they've watched movies with me, and they didn't understand the movies, and I never was like, well, since you didn't understand this, I don't think we could be together. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, but the narrative is getting pushed, and women are falling for it. I think this is like what the movie was kind of made for, is to put more of a wedge between men and women.
Yeah. So yeah, the Barbie movie is crazy. I didn't even have any interest in seeing it.
Same.
I definitely don't want to see it. So
well, now I gotta see it so I can at least talk about it a little bit better on my when men want to talk about it. So
when I first heard about it, it was when it was like some ladies fighting in the movie theater over the movie, or over a child or something like that in the movie. So it's a lot of controversy around this thing all the way around.
Right.
Well, women are like trying to force men to wear pink t-shirts and wear pink to go watch the movie and things like they're really using it as shit tests. Like, if this man listens to me and does the things I want him to do, I'll stay with him. But if he doesn't want to, then I'm gonna break up with him, kind of thing.
That's a weird vetting process.
It is.
Man, this is 2023 is weird.
Yeah. It's getting weird out here. What are like some things you think men today could do to improve their dating life if they need it, or if they just wanted to improve it?
Just dating life or overall, I think don't care about it so much, but improve yourself. You know, like one of my favorite things with Jordan Peterson, clean your room. Right. If you don't even have a clean room, you don't even have a clean area around you, how can you go out there and kind of pursue things and do things when you can't even do the things around you? These are within your control, right? And if you can't even do that, how can you control things that are out of your control? You know, so cleaning your room. If you are struggling to pay bills, you shouldn't be dating. You know, work on your money, work on a skill that AI cannot replace, which AI is replacing jobs at a rapid rate right now. Right. So
we just talked about this last week too.
Oh, yeah, did you? Yeah. So plumbing, electrician, all of these trades, you know, craftsmanship, all these things, very few things are going to be able to replace AI. AI can't put an electrical wiring into a house, you know. So those are the electricians make a good amount of money. A lot of them actually make 100K. You know, these are good jobs that, again, AI can't replace. Look for those types of skills. I'm not saying you have to be an electrician, but these trade skills that were always overlooked. I love, you know, Kevin Samuel always says it too. You know, like the blue collar work is always going to be there because it's labor intensive and nobody really wants to do it. So be the person that is willing to do it. You'll make it in life, right? That's a big thing. And dating wise, start talking to people. Talk to all of the cashiers, give them compliments, and don't expect anything back. Just, oh, you know what? That's a nice shirt. Or, you know what? Oh, you know how you wear that? I love it. And then pay for your thing and move on. Why? At least it breaks the ice. You're not so scared to say things to women, and look for hobbies where the opposite sex is there too. I always preach dancing, dance classes. One of my subs actually invited me to a bachata class. Plenty of women in dance classes that want to dance. They're willing to dance. They're willing to dance with noobs that like they'll teach you. They'll get you into the rhythm. So if you're not so great at it or you're worried about it, half of it's not even talking. You're just dancing and it puts you close to them. You're actually touching them half the time. That a lot of men already have issues with, just being that close to women. You know, so when dance classes and like aerobics classes, even just a lot like hiking hobbies where you're walking together, you have to conversate majority of the time if you're walking together. So just look for things that you enjoy. Don't just do things because you want to look for women and you want to find women. Try out different hobbies that you feel like you will enjoy, and then those would just, it makes you at more ease if you actually enjoy it, instead of having to worry about, oh, I'm doing this because so I could talk to this girl here. You know, now I'm worried about talking to this girl. I'm like, your goal now is to try to do something to talk to this girl. No, just enjoy yourself and have fun and learn the hobby itself. But that's like my always suggestion. Don't push to be in a relationship to find someone. Just do you, work on yourself, work on the things you enjoy, work on the hobbies you enjoy. Once you kind of make it, in a sense, women gravitate towards you. They see the confidence. Oh, and work out. Work out is such a big thing, especially if men are depressed. Men are so worried about whatever it is they're worried about. Building muscle, working out builds antidepressants, natural antidepressants for you. You feel better, you look better, you're healthier, and you're more confident when you look better. It's just natural. Not saying you have to get yoked out. Like, that's not what I push for, but just get out there and like work on your body. So
it's all great advice.
Yeah, that's solid.
By the way, I do bachata too. A little bit.
Oh, nice. Oh, dude, I did 2-3 classes. I'm not the greatest. Like remembering all the dance moves, because I guess they're very quick with like teaching you the moves. They'll do it only once or twice, and then they add new moves. then you do it once or twice and just keep adding the moves. Like it gets a little complicated, but it's fun. It's actually very enjoyable.
Oh yeah, for sure. My wife's from Mexico, so we in the house doing it upstairs. So
nice. It's and you're automatically close to women. And you're touching half the time. Your hands are touching. You're spinning them around. So it just gives you that comfort level that you might not be able to get through other hobbies. So,
absolutely, yeah, that's solid. Like all that advice. All right, so some things that have been happening in the news. We have Kai Cenat, who is a big influencer from Rumble. He got arrested in New York. He was doing a giveaway. He told people to show up, and I think like 3,000 people showed up.
Ooh, that's a lot.
So they arrested him for inciting a riot and not telling nobody what he was doing.
What? Was there actual riot?
I mean, yeah, it got crazy. A kid
almost got trampled. Oh, okay. Then I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, so he's fighting that right now.
Sheesh.
Right.
And that's a heck of a promotion right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't even know what he was giving away. It wasn't worth it though.
It usually isn't.
So, all right, so our next topic, we got a passport cyst going wrong again. So we had Leah Mai get arrested in Turkey for stealing watches. So for the people who don't know who that is, that's Central C's ex-girlfriend, a rapper from the UK, IG model. And basically she got arrested. She's on camera stealing watches, and the authorities told her friends to come back and bring the watch, or she's going to be in big trouble.
That's terrible. Stealing in general, never support that. Especially when you like an influencer or someone that people know, like is. I mean, how do you think you're gonna get away from that?
Right, exactly.
Everybody knows who you are.
Plus, she's in Turkey, which they have extreme rules for that. It's not like over here in America.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean, even here in America, you're not supposed to be stealing watches. Like that's you get arrested for that here. But It's crazy that women feel that they can get away with a lot of these things, even in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The last thing I'm gonna want to do is do crime in another country. I don't even want to do it here. So definitely getting locked up somewhere else is out of the question.
What else we got?
We got Gucci store robbery out in Beverly Hills. Basically, it looked like it was like maybe 5 or 6 people ran into a Gucci store. And
sheesh,
they stole like $100,000 worth of bags and ran out.
Man, why everybody robbing somebody?
Dude, that's like 10 bags.
It's crazy. Stealing watches. We go from stealing watches to robbing Gucci store for bags. I mean, do you think it's just a product of what is going on in the world with today, just beyond financials, but just the economy in a sense, or socials, right? Like you see online, every time you go online, you see negativity, you see people doing crazy things, you see entertainers doing crazy things for publicity and things like that. It kind of feel like everybody just don't care no more about nothing. Like, things you would see in a movie, you're seeing being played out in everyday life now.
Looking like Gotham City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. I think it's part of the economy, but it's also social media where people want to live like the Joneses. You know what I mean? You see women. I watched quite a few videos about just women when they see other women traveling, getting a new bag, getting all these things. They're like, why not me? It's weird that women think that way. Instead of earning it, some people are willing to, steal it. Where men, when we see someone that, oh, look at that rapper, he's doing well. Fuck, how do I get there? Like we're not thinking too much about, I'm going to steal from that rapper and take what he has. It doesn't make sense. But I don't know, society nowadays, everybody's off their rocker. So.
No, you're right.
100%.
That's a great point too. I mean, that's a really great point that you just made, Red. Like success, right? Like everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants, whether it's, whatever success means to you, right? Someone can say success means finance. Someone else can say success to me means the number of people I can help, right? But the point is, no matter what success means to you, it's more so like you said, instead of going out and taking or finding a shortcut, figure out what that person or whoever inspired you did, the steps they did, and try to mirror that in your own way. So that's an interesting.
I think
point.
People don't want to be successful; they want to look successful.
Look successful.
That look is so much more important, yeah, especially on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Make it till you make it. All right.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. So we got another robbery. This is in San Ramon. Some jewelry thieves, they stole $1 million in jewelry. And the way they got caught is because the Rolexes they stole had GPSs in them.
What? Rolexes have GPS in them?
They have
now?
GPSs in them now. That's wild, right?
Hey, but if you think about it, that's
that is wild.
That's kind of smart. I mean, you pay they $30,000-$40,000 watches. You
gotta protect your stuff.
Yeah, the cheapest ones.
Yeah, the cheapest one, exactly. The cheapest.
No, that's damn. Maybe Gucci should be putting GPSs in their
bags. GPSs in the purses, right?
Right. So more news. So out here in Atlanta, Sugarloaf Mills, there was a shooting on Saturday night. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but they had people running out of the malls, and they had some of the stores closing, locking people in, making sure they were safe. So that's something that happened here, but there were no casualties.
Yeah. It's like no matter where you go, it's crazy. Like no matter where you go, it could be a shooting anywhere, right? Like Sugarloaf Mills, that mall is not far from where we are right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I got some questions for you, Red, because from where we're from and where you're from, the gun laws are different. So out here, we're allowed to open carry. We're allowed to conceal carry. We can be in the mall with it. We can be in the grocery store with it. But out in California, that's not a thing at all. So like, what's some of the what's some of the like viewpoints you have on like gun control in the country?
I love guns. I don't own any myself. My father owns. He has a concealed carry weapon. Tell the truth, like my dad has killed 3 people in the United States. Like I don't know how many he's killed during the war, but in the United States he's killed 3. One person tried to rob him at the donut shop, and they had an air pistol, and my dad blasted him, and then he ran off, and my dad chased him and tackled him and just kind of jumped on him and waited for the cops to show up. He died in the hospital the next day from his wounds. And then another one, we used to own a gas station in Bakersfield, like in the ghetto. Like when we talk about like South Central ghetto, that's pretty much where our gas station was.
Right.
And it was over a 50-cent soda.
Wow.
Like the guy wanted a free 50-cent soda. He had money in his pockets, but he didn't want to pay. Fight broke out, and like his friend came from the car. Fight was like, we're pretty much done. We just, beat up some people and then, like send them out their way. We don't really try to hurt people that bad, but when things happen, we're going to defend ourselves. Mm-hmm. And his friend came out from the car and got my dad from behind, fractured his cheekbone, and my dad fell to the ground. And my dad's always strapped, so when he fell to the ground, his gun fell out of his waist. So it was the 2 choices: either he grabs the gun right away, or that guy's gonna grab the gun. So my dad grabbed the gun, blasts one in the chest and him, and then the original guy that we were fighting with runs out of the shop and then runs back in, and my dad shoots him once in the head.
Wow.
So it wasn't the greatest moments in our lives, but it shows like how I've always viewed guns is puts people in a level playing field. It doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter what sex you are. Once you both have a gun, you're pretty much at an even playing field, right? And yes, maybe the other person doesn't have a gun. That should give them at least that warning, like maybe back off, right? At least if you're a sensible gun owner, right? There's plenty of people like the recent story with Idris Alba when he tried to help out that female, and the guy pulled out a gun on him and just like, you trying to take my girl kind of thing. That's not a responsible gun owner. And to me, people push for like the ban of guns, and that's not what the forefathers wanted. The forefathers knew governments become corrupt. It always has been and it always will be. History repeats itself constantly, right? So they want everybody to be able to have their own guns to be able to defend themselves. And I hate when people are like, well, how can you defend yourself against the army? They have better, bigger guns. Look at, like places like the recent war in with Russia right now. They're able to defend off Russia with just a few men with guns. Yes, they do get some help from the US here and there, but it only takes a few men to defend themselves with the right firearms, and you're able to defend yourself. That's what forefathers wanted, I think. And to me, coming from a war-torn country and from my own experiences with my father and just guns itself, like after the second incident, they took my dad's gun away immediately. The next day, my dad went to the gun store and bought a brand new gun. Like my dad was like, I am not going out unstrapped. Like it's just how he is. And he has the conceal carry license. He would go to Costco. He goes everywhere with his gun. And it makes sense to me because he's a responsible gun owner, right? It's not that he's bringing the gun to the store getting ready to blast someone. No, he has it for protection. If something was to go down in that store, he can defend people. He can help people out, right? So I've always not saying that guns should be laxed, but it should be a little bit tougher to get guns. Maybe certain automatics should not be available, especially like smaller firearms where it's easy to conceal. But I don't think there's anything wrong with AR-14s. I don't think there's anything wrong with the high-powered assault rifles in a sense, because people can't just walk around with those. It's not a normal thing. So yeah, I'm pretty conservative when it comes to how guns work for me. So,
how do you feel about switches?
No, for real. The auto steers, like so
knives.
No, like so auto steer is something you put on like semi-automatics and it makes it an automatic.
Oh yes, not a big fan of that. Just because it makes it too easy to blast someone. Like most guns, it takes very conscious to be able to like put a couple bullets in people. Once something happens and you can just pull a trigger real quick, like 2 seconds, and you just unloaded your full clip, that's a little bit ridiculous to me. So
yeah, I agree with that too, for sure. That's becoming another big thing right now.
Yeah, you get caught with it's a 10-year federal sentence.
Ooh,
so
I think that's actually pretty fair. Sounds pretty fair to me.
Oh yeah.
So ready to talk about some sports?
Let's go. Sir.
So Red, what are your favorite sports and what is your favorite sports team?
I love tennis. I love playing tennis, and I love playing football. I couldn't care less about watching it. Like I don't really watch sports. I watch it with my friends because they all watch sports. And I guess my teams would be the LA teams because that's what I'm surrounded by. That's what everybody loves around me, which would be the Dodgers, the Lakers, the LA Kings. So now it's the Rams too. But the first time I went to a baseball game was earlier this year, and I went to a Dodger game. I got some free tickets from my girl, and I didn't really enjoy it. The food sucked. The Dodger dogs were not what everybody made them out to be.
Oh, man.
And the chairs are so uncomfortable.
Right.
So I just didn't really enjoy it. So, but I do want to go to SoFi and watch maybe a Rams game. Just I want to experience some of these things. But as an overall thing, I don't really care for sports. I think it's it's very similar to what porn and video games is. It's used to sedate men. That's what most men are sedated with is sports. You know, they're so into their sports team. They're so, I think people, it's almost like gangs in a sense because people are so into their team. This is how riots kind of happen when a team loses and wins. I see that quite often nowadays when, especially when, even when your team wins, like the Lakers win, we still riot in our own freaking city, which is ridiculous to me. But
that's how they did that too when the Philadelphia Eagles won. They rioted in their city.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it
this doesn't make sense.
It's almost like that just shows a void in people's life, right? Like they need some type of excitement, something to depend on, something is missing that they're trying to get through that, right? That's interesting.
Yeah, so some sports topics going on. So we got Steph Curry. So now Steph Curry, he plays basketball, he plays golf, and now he's a rapper. He got a new song called Little Fish, Big Pond.
Yeah, that was funny. When you sent me that video, I was just like, wait. I was like, when I saw him play golf and he won the golf tournament, I was like, okay. And, you know, I could see Steph doing that. Like, you know, I didn't know he played golf, but I could see him doing that, you know. Then I see the video and he's in the video. I'm like, no way. Right. But that's cool, though. You know, he's not.
Was it a good song?
It's fun. Right. Yeah, it's a fun little song.
It's a cool little concept to it. Okay. Little fish, big pond. Like it's something that like you would play like not when you want to hear some good music, just like when you want to like kind of kid around kind of thing, you know. If that makes sense. But no, I think the thing that I respect about Steph a lot is it seems like everything he does is respectable. Like, yeah. It's not girls naked in the video, twerking,
he's just
doing nothing crazy. He's just on a boat. He's just on the boat being stuff.
I wish his wife was as respectable as he was.
Oh man. Yeah, you should be tripping, man.
Yeah.
So we have Jalen Green from the Houston Rockets. He's 21 years old. He was spotted with Jerry Michelle, who's 38 years old. She is a reality TV star. So the internet's kind of going crazy about that because Drea's older and she's dating a younger man, which we're starting to see so much now.
Yeah, it's kind of like I mean, she's been with a lot of different people, right? Like a lot of different celebrities over the years. And it's kind of like she just kind of jumps to like what's hot, like a lot of them do. Just jump to what's hot, what's where the money at.
But what do you think? Like 21 to 20 to 38. What do they have in common?
I don't have any. To tell the truth, I don't have any issues with it other than it's kind of obvious why she's doing it because she can't get the men at her own level. Mm-hmm. Like he's a little bit naive. Like, you know, younger sports stars are a little bit naive when it comes to the dating market and they just got this money. They just recently got all this money. So a lot of them probably have never gotten this kind of attention. And when you get a big name star, like someone like her, kind of giving you that kind of attention, and it's just like, well, fuck, I made it in life kind of thing. You know what I mean? Instead of, the only thing is, he should probably be focusing on building his own family, building his own legacy with someone that is possible to do that with. But it's having fun. I think it's young men having fun and older women trying to still be relevant in a sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. I think, you know, like you said, I think he's exploring, he's finding out, you know, what it is that he wants, and he's trying different things. For her, it's like obviously it's money, but like there's no long term there, right? Like it doesn't seem like there's something like, all right, they got to start a family, and this is gonna be this is gonna be.
I mean, in a sense, maybe she can give him a kid right now, but that's probably about it. And she's pretty seasoned, you know, in a sense to where she won't be able to take care of those kids as well as someone else. And just that kid she's going to have trouble giving pregnancy at that age. Yes, women can give birth and, you know, be successful birth, but it becomes a lot more dangerous for both the kid and the woman. So it not that men are so like callous towards women. Most men like kind of put these in their minds too. Like, man, if she's this old, like she might not be able to carry properly. Like, do I want to put my loved one through this? Like, do I want to have to make the decision where it's either my child or the person I love? That's a hard ass decision for men to make.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
For sure.
But I mean, Dre is hot, so he's doing well. All right, we had a preseason football come back. The Cleveland Browns beat the Jets first week.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's football season, man. It sounds weird saying that. The year just flew by. Finally, though. It's football season.
I'm actually happy it's back.
Yeah, you know, we got Aaron Rodgers over there. Or not Aaron Rodgers. What's his name? Went to the Jets.
Who?
The quarterback, new quarterback, right?
I didn't check for it.
Or is it Aaron Rodgers? I think it's Aaron Rodgers that went to the Jets. It got traded over from the Packers. I think it is. It's gonna be interesting in football season. Like Rez said also too. You know, it's gonna be a lot of riots going on. There's gonna be a lot of people, you know, going crazy when their team doesn't win.
Right. Also, so we had baseball.
Ooh.
Baseball was crazy this week. We had Jose Ramirez knock out Tim Anderson from the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, that happened. I think it was yesterday. Did you hear about that, Red? Yeah, man. Yeah.
I was actually watching the game yesterday with a couple people.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I did not hear that.
Yeah. I don't know what part of the game. I don't know if it was like towards the end or whatnot, but yeah, they ran up on each other and punches got thrown and one guy just happened to get laid down. Yeah, Ramirez. I think it was Ramirez that knocked down Anderson, right?
Yeah.
And Anderson ran towards him and took his gloves off or put something out of his hand, whatever it was, and act like he wanted to fight him. And Ramirez laid him down. It's unfortunate to see people fighting in sports games. I'm sure it's young kids out there and things like that. But that's when what Dave Chappelle used to say, keeping it real gone wrong.
Keeping it real goes wrong, man.
Yeah. He ran out there and got laid down.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I had some questions. So what is it? What's like one final thought you want to leave our listeners with about your podcast and why you started your podcast?
You can have standards, man. It's okay, to have standards. If you want to live life as a good man, have a spine and have some balls. Build some morals, stick to those morals, and be willing to put it down when those morals come into question. Those are so hard for men nowadays to kind of comprehend. People flip-flop left and right. They're so easily swayed, and because how women kind of control the dating market, men just kind of simp a little too hard for everything. No, if you have standards, you want to live life a certain way, you want a woman of certain caliber, don't settle for less. It's okay for you to have those standards. It's okay for you to want some of the things you want. But of course, be within reason. I'm not telling you want to freaking, if you're just some average Joe making average Joe money and you want a Victoria's Secret model, that's not reasonable, right? But if you want a Victoria's Secret model and you feel I have to work towards that, I'm going to be the next, Leonardo DiCaprio, work your ass off to get those things. Have a purpose. Don't think that things are just going to come into you, and you can't manifest things like women can. Our lives are so different from them. They can literally screw up most of their life and still get majority of what they want. If we screw up in life, like I've been to jail, I've gone through some harsh times. It takes even more effort and time to rebuild back from some of those things. So if you kind of just stay away from those things and just work on yourself this whole time, you'll be better off than I am. Like you'll be better off than most people. So again, just believe in yourself and don't take your standards for granted.
Word.
That was very well said. Very well said. I love it.
Yeah. Ray, we want to thank you for stopping by the podcast, man. We really do appreciate you doing that for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, dude, I appreciate you guys inviting. I was a wonderful time with you guys. Invite me back anytime.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, if y'all made it to the end of the video, we want to thank you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe below. And I'm Canary Balance.
Slyce.
Peace.
Peace.